Hey everybody, so I just got out of court here in Flagstaff, Arizona, in a municipal court, and I figured since we were up here in Babylon anyway, we'd do a little 1A auditing, First Amendment auditing here. This is the Flagstaff Assessor's Office right here in Coconino County, so this is a county building. Typically with our audits, the way we've done them, we've always had municipality ordinance issues, and we have yet to do government buildings, although a lot of people are doing government buildings. I'm going to look and see what it says. It says, building is locked. For assistance, please ring bill. So that's tax payments. So this building is locked. All right, so in that case, I'm going to walk over here to this other government building that actually has a sign on it. And this is the courthouse. And I will assume, now I will tell y'all, I am not going to get into too much of a heated debate today with Kyle or Karen security, because I've got my brother Flash with me, and this is his first time being on anything called an audit. And then also my phone is now not got the battery power to maintain a half hour to an hour conversation about First Amendment rights. But I wanted to show, this is something interesting. In Arizona, you're allowed to represent yourself, unlike California where you must have a lawyer. And a lot of times in Arizona, you won't actually get a lawyer for misdemeanor. But here they have a law library right here at the Coconino County Courthouse. And if they do shut down my public photography, I will then. So we have a COVID warning right here. Do not enter the case. All right. If you have fever, if you have anything that says you had COVID, don't enter courthouse. Per Arizona Supreme Court Rule 122.1. I have not looked at that yet, but I'll look that up as soon as we leave this area. I don't want to get any pedestrians and the camera footage. Especially they don't want to be. So in this courthouse, it says, again, we have the similar sign. So I'm going to ask this gentleman, you're in here, this is the bailiff's office. No problem, sir.
We might do the same stuff.
Oh, sir. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I think I got a little change here.
You have a little change in your pocket there? Any phone or anything like that on you?
No, I left it.
Yeah, your belt will, if it goes off, we'll want you. So.
Okay.
Let me ask the bailiff here what he's done. I don't want to make sure he's good with everybody else first. One thing we always try to make sure is we're not in anybody's way or causing any disturbance, because that's something that would be improper in society. So social norms and social expectations are aside from law. And one of the social expectations that everyone has is that you don't disturb someone's business. Hey, bailiff, let me ask you a question. So
you need to turn that off, sir.
I know that's what I was going to ask you about. Yeah. So I saw this. How is that in agreement with the First Amendment?
You need to turn that off.
I know. I'm just trying to figure out how this
because it's
the First Amendment doesn't count here.
The courts.
But this is a public building, right? So what I did was I did prequel to find out if you are violating First Amendment rights.
No, we're not.
You're not. This is not a violation of First Amendment rights, according to who?
According to the Supreme Court.
The Supreme Court. The Supreme Court did this?
Yes, sir.
That says, so I'm going to look up this thing and find out what it says. But I've never seen a county building in my life that's paid by tax dollars that we can't monitor and audit our tax dollars. The courts has said that.
Yes,
All right, and you're Womble, right?
yes, sir.
And you are the supervisor, right?
Yes, I am.
So you're in charge. That's all I need to know. And then, and who actually, what judge was this? What judge said this?
The state Supreme Court.
So all the justices of the state. And this wording says that we can't videotape in public buildings.
In the courthouse, sir.
And just this one courthouse.
Yes, sir.
So it's even the lobby, not just restricted areas, but also the lobby. Okay, I'd find that out because that's going to be challenged. Thank you so much, Wumble. Yeah, so he is stating that this Supreme Court of this state has made a law saying that you cannot record in this particular public building under per Arizona Supreme Court Rule 122.1. That is a rule. Hold on. That says rule, not law.
Sir?
So is that rule or law?
It's a Supreme Court rule.
And Supreme Court's this building?
Yes, sir. State Supreme Court.
It's in this building.
It
Because it says rule.
oversees this building, yes, sir.
But typically rules are for internal people who work for a business.
Sir?
But and then laws are against the public.
You need to turn that off, or you need to step outside.
Well, I'm not going to the sheriff's office next because what you're saying is illegal. So I have to I got to put a complaint on you for that because you're working under the color of law, right? Authority? Do you have authority here?
Yes, sir.
So you have the color of law. You're working under tax dollars of the color of law, and you're saying that this rule
You need to step outside.
supersedes the First Amendment. Oh, I'm never going to do that. I mean, but I'm going to go to the sheriff's department and talk to them.
Thank you.
Where's that at? Is that in here?
No, sir.
Okay, sheriff's department's where?
911 Sawmill Road.
So that's right here somewhere?
No, sir.
The sheriff's department's not here.
No, sir, it's not.
Okay.
911 Sawmill Road.
911 Sawmill Law. And we'll be there too. But just so you know, no auditor in our team. All right, so we're going to go back and make a complaint on this bailiff because apparently he's quoting the wrong, the rule improperly. There's an exemption for members of the public within Arizona State Supreme Court Rule 122, specifically exempting us as public from being that unless a judge specifically shuts down public photography from the public. This bailiff has identified this rule as being a rule that he can enforce on the public, but the rule itself, the language does not apply to the public at all. So we are going to make a complaint on his misrepresentation of the law. Where's your supervisor at? You misrepresent the law. You're misrepresenting the law. Where's your supervisor at? I'm filing a complaint on you now. So I need your supervisor. Yes, I'm not asking you for permission. You're a public official, right? You're a taxpayer.
Step out with that camera.
I'm not going to do that.
Okay.
The law 122 actually says it gives exemption to the public. You're not allowed to do what you're doing. You're breaking the law.
Okay.
So I need your supervisor. I'll turn this off. But nobody's going to allow you to misrepresent facts and then misrepresent our intent and misrepresent this. You're not going to do that. So where's your supervisor?
Okay. Step on out with the camera.
I'm not stepping out of a public courthouse with a camera. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Where's your supervisor? Where's your supervisor at? Where's your supervisor at? Why are you touching me? That's assault. That's assault. Why are you touching me? That's assault. Where's your supervisor at? That's assault. Assault. And this is Leo. Assault. And that's Womble. That's assault. I will be filing charges now. I will be filing charges now. Now we will go to the sheriff's office. Hey, Facebook. So we finally have a deputy show up. It's been a while. We have Deputy Ruiz, and you use badge numbers? Not because you're a sheriff, right? 109. Okay, and this is Deputy Axland. And badge number? 83.
You guys mind if we talk out here?
I don't mind at all. No, it's actually not that cold out there right now.
Yeah.
I would have rather y'all showed up like an hour ago, bub.
Did you want your hat, sir?
It's not my hat. It was already there. All right, so this is a simple thing. Oh, sure.
That way we just don't block.
My name is Pastor Andrew. I'm with the Church of Common Good. We do we do street ministry.
Okay.
But for many years now, the street ministry has turned into what we call auditing because tax-paid officials seem to have a problem following constitutional rights versus laws.
Right.
There's already been a police officer here, but I don't live within the city of Flagstaff.
Okay.
So my vote counts toward the sheriff, not toward city officials that then hire police. So that's why I made sure it was y'all.
Right.
I went to the courthouse today, Coconino County Courthouse.
Okay.
Walking in the courthouse, I noticed a sign that said no photography according to Arizona Supreme Court Rule 122.1. That struck me as odd because the Supreme Court has very thoroughly ruled that you can record anything from a public space unless it's a restricted area, and that restriction has to be made by the government official. The judges across the Supreme Court have been very thorough on that. So because, and I know you know that because you've probably said auditors before. We've been doing this for 20 years. So I know you've met at least an auditor, probably more of an asshole than me. I'm a nice guy. But the fact of the matter is, this gentleman says I could not record inside the courthouse. And this interaction started when I asked him, how does this sign comply with civil rights? Right. How can you restrict something that the Supreme Court has already ruled is lawful? Mm-hmm. And he immediately said, you can't turn your camera off, can't record in here. I said, well, you're going to have to tell me a law that says I can't, because according to my civil rights, I can. And according to the Supreme Court, I can. He got then mad. He said his name was Bailiff Womble. And I asked him if he was working under the color of authority. He said, yes, he is. And he said, and then, I said, well, I mean, I'm allowed to record here. That says our rule. And the court rules have to do with employees and things in restricted areas, but they do not extend to tax-paid things. We have to know where our tax dollars are going and how they are being spent. That's why we audit. For many, many years, tax dollars went out into the wind, and we had no idea, and we saw cops sitting in the back of parking lots for 5-6 hours at a time, and that happened throughout the 90s and the 80s. I don't know how old you are, but I remember it very clearly. The auditing team did not come to disparage cops. We came to make sure our money was spent right. All right, so the deputy or bailiff Womble thought that then it was time to tell me to get out and shove me like that with his hands. Now, if I had done that to him, I would obviously have a quicker response, and that would be in that jail. Right. Because that is assault. You are not allowed to shove people out of public spaces because you think there's a rule that supports your cause. Yeah. Qualified immunity, maybe, but that's not QI.
Did you talk to his supervisor while you were there?
That's when he shoved me. When I asked for a supervisor, I was walking back in, and Bailiff Leo was walking in front of us, and I was on my live stream. And by the way, I have a lot of people. I've been doing this for 20 years. So, and I've been working with ACLU for 16. So there's lawyers on the live feed and things like that. And I'm walking in and I'm explaining the situation where he just described a rule that actually has a written exemption in it for the public. Right. The rule actually literally exempts the public from that rule. Right. So I went in to tell him, like, you're misrepresenting the law to me and restricting my movement. That's illegal detainer. You can't do these things. I can't do it to you. You can't do it to me. I can't do it to you. That's the way the law works. He didn't care. And
did he give you any kind of notice? I didn't mean to cut you off.
Go ahead.
Did he give you any kind of notice? Hey, do you mind turning your camera off?
No.
Or anything?
Oh, no. I got a video. I'm going to let you see it too. I just wanted to write the complaint down, and he's going to start recording. I'm going to let you see the video. Right. It's one of the most awe-striking videos I've ever recorded in 16 years.
What did he have to say?
He said he was the supervisor. Womble said he was the supervisor.
And you said the supervisor came out?
No. No. I asked for his supervisor because obviously everyone has a supervisor within the government officials, unless we're talking about the president of the United States. Right. Everyone has, even the Congress. Right? So we all have supervisors. So I asked for his supervisor because he laid his hands on me and shoved. Okay. He didn't just lay his hands on me. He shoved. not allowed to do that. When I'm walking into a building recording and he believes there's a court rule against it, that rule has not been voted on or put into law and written away and challenged, nor can it be challenged. So it's not enforceable.
Yeah, but I was just going off of the information that you gave me, that the sign that you saw that says
I saw
recording, and then
it says Arizona State Supreme Court. And what I was doing as an audit, that's all. I didn't even try to walk in past him. I literally engaged the official in the conversation of the way that particular sign conflicts with our First Amendment rights, and how the Supreme Court has already ruled that we can record from any public space, and it's your job to create privacy. Just like your cruiser. If you leave your laptop open, right, and you have information on there, that stuff you probably don't want auditors privy to. So, and you'll see some auditors, they'll walk up to like to a sheriff's vehicle, deputy's vehicle or something, and they'll start recording. They legally can do that, because it's your job to create privacy. While that might be controversial, is lawful. And that's where we are getting into this auditing thing, is that cameras are everywhere. I'm on camera now by about 30 of them. But my camera seems to be a problem. And that's not fair. The government building doesn't belong to Bailiff Womble. It belongs to the people of Coconino County. And I own a large parcel in Coconino County with a lot of taxpayers on it.
See, and the thing is too, like, your phone, you said, is a problem. It's not a problem to me.
No, you're not, but I'm not trying to put a complaint on you either.
But on the flip side, the posting, the sign that you stated you saw, that falls along the lines of people that are going in there for
Have you read it?
reasons.
I just read it.
I haven't been to the courthouse.
No, I know the rule. Yeah. I read it word for word. Yeah. Oh, by the way, I have 16 years in law.
Which I understand.
So what I'm saying is I read it, the language of it. It's Arizona Supreme Court 122.1.
Is it ARS statute?
It's an ARS court rule. And the exemption is Section C, which exempts the public and media, and says the only way they could be shut down is if the judge deems it to be a problematic situation. The judge themselves can then shut down media from even the courthouse. I mean, the judge has the ability to shut down, but the bailiff Womble does not. And that rule, 122.1.
And mainly where I'm coming from is, he was probably trying to just...
He was trying to shut down the camera.
Legitimize the fact that a lot of people are in there with sensitive information.
They're recording in there. I can FOIA every camera in that building. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's no legitimate. It's a public space. I can FOIA every camera in that building. Yeah. It doesn't belong to Coconino County. It belongs to the people. It's public information. Yeah. Freedom of Information Act is very clear. I can request data from any camera on a public building. And they have to provide it unless it's got sensitive information, right? So they can redact some things, but the reason we record ourselves is because there's been malicious redactations lately. So the redacting has been malicious. So when we get our FOIA request videos back, they don't quite say the whole story. So, I mean, I'm gonna FOIA request your video, obviously, and yours, but I have to put a case together, because what happens is if no one does anything, that's when we file a 1983 federal suit, because that's a violation of rights, because there is still infringement of civil rights when you put your hands on somebody. So whether someone commits the crime and the local departments want to take the criminal complaint or not, or follow through with it, the federal government still finds that to be a federal crime. It's against the law for someone under the color of law to deprive someone of their civil liberties and rights. Part of those damages are filing a criminal complaint with your department. So I'm literally being lawful here, like this would.
So what we'll do for you is we'll take the criminal complaint. So we'll do is called an assault investigation, ARS 13-1203. And we'll take that, and then we'll go pull the video footage, and then we'll do our investigation from there for you.
Beautiful, awesome. And if you need, I have footage too, first party. It's the doors of the courthouse. I'm sure you got video.
Yeah,
I'm gonna FOIA them right now anyway, so I'll have them for you too if you don't got them.
What was your last name?
I'm not gonna give you that, right?
He's gonna have to have it.
I understand what you're saying, but let's step away from policy and start about law. Yeah. So I agree
we
that
have to list somebody as a victim.
You can list a John Doe. I know that for a fact because I've been doing this for 16 years. You do not have, there's only one way a law enforcement agency can take someone's name and violate is if they willfully give up their Fourth Amendment rights. You can do that. Or if they're suspected of a crime. Obviously, I'm not suspected of a crime. This is not a criminal investigation. This is not a criminal detainment. It's not an investigatory stop. This is I called. I was the victim. In my case, I withhold that information. I'll tell you why. Not that you're a bad guy. Not that he's a bad guy.
Right.
But I've been doing this for 16 years. Do you know how many corrupt public officials that we've gotten?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Enough.
Right.
Enough. A lot. I mean, so I would say there's been 3 or 4 dozen. Now, of those 3 or 4 dozen, how many times you think I might have been harassed by someone I put a complaint on without they didn't even know I put a complaint on? They found out because I gave somebody my name and it went to a field card.